Thankful for the mindset, the grit, the toughness of this football team. Call them grimy. That was they're a grimy group. And I say that with great respect. Relentless mindset, passionate about one another, their opportunity, love to compete, and never losing hope or belief. They're playing a really good team. It's been a really good team against everybody they've played. They've played all the one-score games outside of the A&M game that really blew up into the third quarter after a fake punt and backup quarterback that played for them. So, the stats aren't really, there's nothing to quote-unquote really, brag about for y'all. Love to, pump up. Everybody gets excited about a lot of offensive statistical things that show up. But, man, I know we had more yards per play and more yards per carry, 3.2 to 2.0. In the yards per carry, 4.5 to 4.2 in yards per play. We did what we needed to do to win. And, we tried to push the ball down the field. Didn't really go our way like we wanted to, except when they hit Sategna in the, on the slant, man, and he was, what a great play, that was. And, but the second half, I think they had 9 rushes, went for 0 yards, and thought, again, defensively, just, again, punt, interception, punt, downs, interception. Just second half was fantastic. We had a great drive. We had to settle for a field goal coming out of halftime. And just some amazing moments. I'm always fired up when we're playing to our ability. Made a few slight adjustments in the second half defensively. And really, our guys just, man, their will and their toughness were just, fantastic. Offensively, again, hard to get into a really good rhythm. Again, we've got to be better. There's more there. We missed some opportunities to stay on schedule, and we'll learn from those. And again, I told the team we were 8-2 last week. We're 9-2 this week, and nobody is. I'm proud of our guys for a body of work and a relentless commitment. And but nobody's handing out trophies. There's no badge of honor other than playing the game a certain way. Physical, took care of the ball, +2 again. We're +10 the last 3 games, and or 10 turnovers the last 3 games, and that's how you got to go win. And we had 2 takeaways the first 6 games, and then 10 in our last 5 games. So really great work. And so with that, I'll open it up.
The slant to Isaiah. You weren't playing great at the time. Things were going against you. It seemed not just flip the score, but flip the momentum.
Who wasn't playing great? The offense?
Well,
because they weren't either then.
Yeah, but you've given up a drive or 2 that you weren't proud of, I'm sure, too. But either way,
yeah.
I mean, it seemed to flip the score, but also flip the momentum from that for the rest of the day, really.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It really created a spark. We go up 7-3 there. Is that right? Went up 7-3. Yeah, huge play. Again, against the defense quality of Missouri, you can create an explosive play, hit a guy on a runner, and make some guys miss, and leaves them almost 80-yard touchdown. That's a huge play in these kind of games, absolutely. And it created momentum and belief and all of those things. So it takes those things, to ability to execute, be able to protect, be able to get open, and catch them in the right call. So great job, by John and the line and Isaiah.
Defeating Hardy, they had that first drive, and he had a few runs there. And I think, you said in your opening statement you made adjustments in the second half, but you started to make you guys made improvements.
Yeah, right after the first drive, Yeah. Again, they're going to get some. We were a little soft, and sometimes we're playing coverage, and we're light box, and see what we can get away with. You don't always know, until you get on game day. You just can't sit there and load the box every play either. And sometimes it's a cat and mouse game. It's, and for them, their job is to try to keep us off balance, and our job is to do the same. And then you start figuring out where your matchups are and kind of what they're leaning into from a DNA. And you can tell what they believe by what they do, you know, and how they're attacking you. And so our job is to identify that quickly and be better. And I thought we got better. I told y'all, maybe I didn't tell you, and I told somebody, but I spoke to here in media-wise this week that in a lot of their games early, they give up, teams have given up a lot of rushing yards to them early in the games because of it's hard to emulate, you know, it's kind of like a triple option team, you know, the precision of their O-line, the style of runs. There's not a whole lot of teams that do what they do and how they do it. And then the power of the running backs, you know, their balance, their strength, their explosiveness, their center of gravity. It's hard. And again, usually you see that. And but thankfully we started knocking the pile backwards a little bit more often and pushed the pile the right way and got things under control. And again, in the first half, I think they had field goal, 14 play, and then it went punt, and they had a field goal attempt, 6-play, 60-yard drive, and then they go 3-and-out punt. And then we did a crappy job right before half on the 2-minute drill, just crappy by us coaches, and gave up a 77-yard drive there right before half, just because we just didn't I didn't call it right. And then but it came out in the second half, man, and just really, again, punt, interception, punt, downs, interception. I know I said that already, but you know, so our guys really buckled down. You know, Grayson Holton had a career high 7 tackles. Eli intercepted another one. Great play there. We had several opportunities in some really competitive places. You know, we had the penalties go the wrong way, and I thought we were really competitive spots there. And we gave up a few of those conversions. You know, gave them the ball back. You know, a team that's hard to defend, and gave them the ball back. You know, and some of those we gave them. I don't know if that was 3 or 4 penalties. We had one on the sideline that doesn't represent us the right way, and everybody deserves some grace, and we got to be better there. And then Reggie got kicked out of the game. How'd that look on tape? Yeah, was it? But anyway, guys did what we needed to do, and I love the cadence and the rhythm of this team. And you know, having done this a long time and been on different teams that have different styles and different DNA, we got a really nice cadence and rhythm, belief system, synergy. I've been talking about that. I think that was a difference maker today. And but more than anything, guys, just grimy and winning a certain way. And it starts with mindset, the physicality, taking care of the ball, being patient when you need to, taking what's there. And we can be better in all those areas. You know, need to be better and continue to improve. I believe that there's tremendous opportunity to continue to improve. You know, several guys, again, that are playing significant roles are still very young players, and will continue to get better. And again, got another great challenge, you know, sitting in front of us here going into, you know, next weekend.
Brent, you talked earlier this week about your running back depth. Xavier Robinson today. What's
Yeah, man, I just brag on him. He showed up on Monday. You know, he got a sprained knee, and this is a guy. Some guys might run to the sideline of the training room, and he didn't. And he's like, put me in a brace, you know, let me go on Monday. And you know, that's what guys from Carl Albert do. You know, they show up. You know, even when it hurts. And, you know, I mean, going into, you know, talking to our players back in fall camp, you know, talked about, you know, this is football. And there's not, if you're playing a role, you're probably not going to feel 100% from here on out, moving forward. And you want to play this game at a high level, and you want to be successful and somebody that has value, then, man, you're laying on the line at 70, 75, 80%. And, you know, that's the reality. And so we can't have a bunch of race cars around here, Lamborghinis, that everything's got to be just right, and have the premium fuel and the lug nuts and all those got to be just right. You know, this is football. And I just have a great appreciation for our team that share that, you know, vision and philosophy, you know, and I'm not going to miss this opportunity. So talked about respect for winning, respect for what it takes, respect for their jersey, the name on the front, the name on the back, respect for this opportunity, these opportunities, what's in front of us don't always happen. So don't get bored with it. You know, the routine, the structure, week 11, whatever, week 12, whatever it is, you know, really value, you know, this opportunity and respect for your teammates too. And nobody can have success by themselves. And we're all dependent upon each other to share in that success. And so, you know, show back up, ready to go. You know, renew your spirit, get your mind right, enjoy tonight, and stay humble, stay thankful, stay hungry, and get ready to go back at it again here, you know, on Monday.
Second straight week, the Bourne brothers come through for you.
Yeah, I mean, I love those guys. I mean, they're a joy to coach. They let you push them. They're willing to have honest conversations. They take responsibility when it ain't good. No finger pointing, no blame. That's just two guys that represent everything that we're about the right way. They're excellent playmakers, and nobody's perfect. And but great young men, great teammates, great family, and huge impact, you know, for what we're doing on defense.
Brett, you talked about cadence of this team, and in today's era of football, the cadence that's expected is a lot of points, and people get really uncomfortable.
Who said? Who said?
You look around football, it's
Really?
a lot of points.
In the SEC? Look around that football?
Well, okay, maybe not as many, but
No,
I think that's the sensibility of fans anymore, and getting comfortable with it not being that way. You as a
Yeah.
defensive guy, maybe that comes more naturally, but
No,
how does
it doesn't. You know, you live and die in every conversion. You live and die in every punt. You know, you live and die in every missed block or drop ball. You really do. And so comfortable, maybe reasonable, but you know, still we got to get better. We you know, things can be a little easier if we can get better.
But at the same time, you've got a defense right now that I would assume maybe it's not comfortable all the way around when the offense isn't clicking, but you have to, it seems like, feel confident of the formula.
Yeah, we got great maturity there, you know. Don't be worrying about who's punting or if they're getting first downs. You don't have no opinion on that. You know, that's the mindset. And you go do your job, you know. You should relish the opportunity to go back out there and do it again, and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. Whatever it takes, that's your job. And none of those guys need to be concerned about being an offensive coordinator. And they're not. They're a humble group of guys that they got big expectations and high standards. And again, as we said going into the year, we got a great group of guys that are highly invested. And then we've recruited and attracted, you know, a group of guys to join them that have the same type of, you know, mindset and standards.
Brent, midway through that third quarter there, they had a 4th and 3. They originally lined up to go for it. Then you called timeout. Then they opted to kick the field goal. You guys blocked it. Can you talk me through sort of that chess match between the two sidelines on what you saw there and just how big of a change of momentum that was?
Yeah, I mean, that was a great moment in the second half. And we just wanted to get a peek at what they were going to be in. And we liked what we had called, but wanted to see what, you know, as much of a glimpse to make them go to the next best play. You know, they probably had one play they loved there. Maybe we saw it later when they went for it and we stopped them on the 4th down. But, yeah, big play. I mean, let's face it, the block kick, they've been leaking their coverage, leaking, you know, inconsistent in how they've kicked field goals. And so, again, our defense did an amazing job there at coming up with another huge stop, huge play. Another, again, blocked field goal, and our coaches did a great job of having, you know, that was a very, you know, defined plan, you know, how we were going to attack them, their protection.
Whether make or miss, obviously you blocked it, but do you count that as a win that you got them out of what they wanted to do? You saw it and then you...
I mean, yeah, you're always, yeah, I'd rather they try the field goal. I don't know. I don't know. I'd rather them trot the field goal unit out there, you know, and then there's an opportunity to keep them out of the end zone. So, you know, our guys did a great job there.
John's day overall.
Yeah, really good. Again, had to earn everything he was given. Again, 2 touchdowns, 175 yards. missed a couple, made some really good plays, ran every single one of his yards were earned, hard-earned yards, and again, took care of the ball. And that's a winning formula. You get good defense, good special teams, take care of the ball, win the margin, outrush them. And again, that was, the nation's, leader in rushing and the number one team in the SEC comes to rushing per game. And, our guys outrushed them 3.2 to 2.0. And so everything goes through the quarterback. We all know that. 100% in the red zone. We got down there, were able to keep that streak alive, scored a touchdown, and had some other opportunities too that we'll learn from.
Frank, can you talk about Jacoby Johnson? You made the-
What a good play. That was right after Reggie had the targeting, the next play. Yeah, we had an edge pressure, zone blitz, and he did a great job. They came out with a formation that we hadn't worked that exact route, but he just played, his fundamentals and technique within the scheme, and that's a really good example of we've had some sound issues here in this room here the last couple of weeks, so I think we're back on. And right on time, but no, Jacoby, that just shows his growth and maturity. Remember, he came here as a country cover 3 corners, really a dynamic skill player on offense, and that just, for me, that just showed this great maturity in his development, and had big vision they ran, I think, maybe a triple post, and he had big vision on the over. Quarterback didn't see him, and then he got himself in position, went chest to chest, and then speed turned and got his eyes back around, became the receiver. And it was a clinic play and a huge play. Talk about a momentum killer, and again, just everything today was going to be hard. And when they got the automatic first down after getting a big stop, I call it a stop because, man, we had great coverage and we had a breakup. We had tipped the ball, and then to take that air right back out of their sideline, huge, because they had some life early, sometime midway through the third quarter. Big play, huge play. One of probably the top 4 or 5 impactful plays in the game, in my opinion.
Brandon Heineke led the team in tackles today, and obviously just over the whole course of the series had a much bigger role than he did previously, and so I just want to ask you, what has led to him having such a big role this year?
Yeah, I'm thankful for his persistence, his determination. He's one of he and Fabechi were our Don Key Award winners. I mean, man, he's been nothing short of spectacular. Leading, showing up ready, selfless, and like I said, this doesn't happen if he wasn't determined to make it happen. And those in life, those that watch it happen, those that make it happen, and those that wake up and say, what the hell happened? And he's a guy that has chosen to make it happen. And, he's kind of done the unthinkable in many ways. And it goes out of high school on scholarship to Ohio State as a lacrosse player. And next thing you know, he's a Don Key Award winner. He's on one of the best defenses in college football, one of the best teams in college football, and he's has a big-time role, big-time impact. So really a cool story, and really, really proud of him. All right,
Thanks, Brian.
appreciate y'all.